Welcome back, everyone. Kim and Ben here. We are Utah locals and fantastic realtors here, so we know a lot about not only the market, but the area, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're going to share it with you. So I'm going to tell you all the fantastic things about living in Utah and why I love it.
Yep, and I'm going to tell you all the reasons why it sucks and you may not want to live here.
He's an eternal pessimist, so take everything he says with a grain of salt because...
I'm an eternal realist, where there are some negative things to consider, and we'll see if they outweigh the pros.
Right, but no matter where you live, there's always pros and cons. So get it from the experts, we'll tell you the truth, let's get into it, and know what the pros and cons of living in Utah really are.
Yeah, let's do it.
There are families everywhere. It is awesome. Families typically have a lot of kids in Utah, but it's a family-oriented community. A lot of people that come from outside of Utah aren't used to that kind of a feel, but I really like it. It's a nice feeling to know that you're living in a family-friendly neighborhood. Everybody kind of watches out for everybody. We pick up packages for each other if we're out of town. That's one of the reasons why I love living in Utah.
There are families everywhere. It is a very family-oriented state, and every single family seems to have like 20 kids. So you're gonna see a lot of bigger cars on the road. You're gonna see vans, Suburbans, full-size SUVs taking up a ton of space, right? So like if you have kids, maybe that's not an issue, but also if you're somebody that doesn't have kids or you have one or two, you may find that it is difficult to go to some places at times like Lagoon, our big amusement park, because there are so many big families and kids trying to get on the rides and do all the things like that.
Utah has cold, snowy winters, and it is the best. There's kids outside sledding. We have some of the best skiing in the entire country. It is so beautiful looking outside. Imagine having like not a white Christmas. That's embarrassing, California. See what I'm saying? Sure, it's cold in the winter, but when you have all the beautiful snow and outdoor activities, the cold really isn't that bad. We have snow plows out first thing in the morning. They sprinkle salt. Everyone knows how to drive in the snow, so there's really no downside.
Utah has cold, snowy winters. Now, Kim probably said something like, the snow is so beautiful. Well, it is. Yeah, it's really pretty to look at. It's not fun to shovel. It's not fun to drive in. Winter is a bit of a downer for me. Like, I always like to do activities that are inside because I don't like being cold. I don't like when my hands are cold, my face is cold. I don't like starting the car in cold weather and waiting for it to warm up.
I can't feel my fingers anymore. I lie, they're numb.
So if you're not an outdoor enthusiast and you don't enjoy getting out and going backpacking in the snow or cross-country skiing or even taking advantage of all these great ski slopes we have, you're gonna have to find something else to do in the winter, which most likely is going to be finding something warm to drink and staying by a warm fire.
Housing values are going way up, which is fantastic for the economy. People are moving to Utah because it's awesome, and the more people move here, the more valuable the properties get, so our home values keep going higher and higher. Most people's houses have increased by $20,000, $50,000, $80,000 just over the last year or two. So if you're telling me that increasing house prices isn't a fantastic thing, you're crazy.
Home prices just keep getting higher and higher. And like when I was a kid, I remember living in Mill Creek, and the house that we had wasn't a big house, like a 1,200 square foot house, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. And at the time, my mom's payment on it was $400 a month. I drive through that same neighborhood now, and that same small, cramped house is selling for $500,000 or $600,000. Like, our prices have gone from very great to holy crap, where are these prices going? Yeah, we have great home values and they're going up, but they're also pricing a lot of people out of the market, and what you used to be able to get for $400,000 you're not able to get today.
Mormons everywhere. It's true. If you've heard one thing about Utah, it's probably there's lots of Mormons. There's the highest population of Mormons in Utah than anywhere else on the planet. So it's true. A lot of people say that they don't like the Mormons, but I just don't understand why. There's nothing not to like. And though I myself am not a member of the Mormon faith, they still are very open and very kind, and they invite us to their activities. My son went laser tagging with a bunch of 12-year-olds just a couple of nights ago.
I want to watch TV.
We're not watching TV. We're Mormons now, and we're having family home evening.
There are Mormons everywhere. Don't believe the statistics. I know we say that 50% of Utah is non-Mormon. I don't know where those 50% are. We are surrounded by LDS or Mormon families everywhere. Now, if you want to see like our thoughts on what it's like to live in Utah with Mormons as a non-Mormon, make sure you check out that video. The link's in the description there. Now, Mormons by themselves are fantastic people. They're very nice. They're very friendly for the most part. But the Mormon culture does influence a lot of Utah behavior. Like, one, it influences our liquor laws. We can't buy liquor anywhere but the state liquor store. Bars close at certain times. There are certain businesses that are not open on Sundays. Whenever the church has a big event, it takes over television and the newspapers, and you see crowds of people downtown. Mormon principles dictate a lot of the Utah laws, which is why we're such a conservative state. And if you're coming from a bigger state where you're used to a little more freedom or going to a club till 4 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to have that same kind of freedom or those same choices here because of the Mormon influence on the state.
Utah has been growing like crazy. There's tons of businesses coming in. People are moving from all over the country to live in Utah. They've been building neighborhoods everywhere for the last 5 or 10 years. There's a lot more business opportunities and education opportunities for people that live here. There's more places to shop and eat. Everything about the growth is fantastic.
The Salt Lake area has been growing like crazy. Now, sure, there's a lot of opportunity that comes with it, but there's also a lot of congestion. Man, as a kid, I used to tease my dad all the time because it seemed like everywhere we went, he would have a story about how this new subdivision used to be a farm, or he used to go play in this field with his friends. And it's funny that now that I've been here in Utah for so long and my kids are getting older, I have those same stories. Like, I can go to my high school in Sandy and tell them about how when I went there, it was nothing but fields all the way out. We had one road that ran right to the point of the mountain, and now everywhere you look, there's businesses, restaurants, new parks, new subdivisions, and it's just covering the entire valley.
The transportation in Utah makes everything super easy. Your commute is easy, going to the store is easy. There's bus routes, there's the tracks downtown, and just about 5 or 6 years ago, we got the Front Runner, which runs all the way up and down I-15. You can get off at any city. It's super easy and convenient, very low cost. And if the Front Runner doesn't get you exactly where you need to go, just call an Uber.
Kim probably said something like, you can Uber everywhere. Well, Uber can't be a part of the equation because we can Uber in every city. So I want to look at transportation. As an adult, I didn't have a car. And if you're not living in the city, it's very difficult to travel to some of these outer lying areas relying solely on public transportation. Like, yeah, do we have trains and buses that will get you 20 miles out of the city? Sure we do. But you have to look at the bus schedule, and they only run at certain times, and you have to have a transfer ticket, and you're going to spend a lot of time waiting for that connecting bus or that connecting train. And we're such a spread out state that it's not very feasible to take a bus and then walk somewhere, because you'd be walking miles, which I've done plenty of times when the bus is closed or they weren't running a certain time.
So now you know our opinions of the pros and cons of living in Utah, but what do you think? Are these big selling features, or are these reasons to not move to Utah? I've lived here most of my life, so maybe my views are a little bit skewed. Leave me your comments, leave me your feedback. Share this video, like, subscribe, and watch the rest of our videos and learn everything there is to know about living in Utah.